channel. In this video, I'm going to be doing my 2024 reading journal flip through as well as my 2025 reading journal setup. I only started doing my reading journal for 2024 back in July, so I never really got to do that initial setup as well as going through everything each month of the year. I kind of did the setup and had to catch up for 6 months, and then I continued it on for the rest of the year. So I'm very excited to be able to start the new year with my reading journal and have everything set up and get to fill out the spreads as well as create new spreads throughout the year. Because I only started my 2024 reading journal halfway through the year, there's not much to go off of, so I'm combining the flip through and the setup into one video. This video is going to span a few days just because I didn't have a time where I was just sitting down completing my spreads for the upcoming year or anything, and also because I'm filming this mid-December, my last few pages of 2024 aren't completed yet, so my December wrap up and then a couple other spreads at the end of the year that I would need to fill in after December ends, so that's going to be a little bit incomplete, but I do have about 5 or 6 spreads that I have set up for 2025. That's pretty much all I have to say for this intro, so let's move on into the 2024 reading journal flip through. I will be using the exact same journal for 2025 setup. I probably only use about a quarter of the pages, as you can see here from like these pages, and these ones are all unused, so I'll definitely be using this for 2025 for sustainability purposes. I do not need a new journal when I have so many pages left in this journal, and I think that will take me all the way till the end of 2025. Opening up to the first page, I kind of went with like a brown craft paper theme and then these like roses for my initial pages, and I just wrote Jessica's reading journal on the very front. I had to glue together the first 2 pages, so like this cardstock beginning page and then the first page of the bullet journal, because the very first page did not lay flat at all. This is just like the initial first page, and there's no first page of a bullet journal until you flip to this page, which is my series tracker, and I kept the brown theme with the little roses. I am going to be doing a new series tracker going into 2025 just because I added a lot of series on here that I don't think I'll be continuing. And then flipping over to the next page, this was my physical library tracker that I did not maintain that well. I think for 2025 I'll have to do this a double page spread because I recently did 2 more hauls and I would not be able to fit all the books into the space. The reason why I wanted to do this was I just wanted to create a log of my physical books that I've bought, even though my collection is small, or well, especially because my collection is small, so it's nice to see where things come from and I can look back at it, and it's kind of memories in a way to see where I received books from, just because I don't only buy books from bookstores. And then I started my 2024 spreads. My reason for 2024 spread being like way after my series tracker and then my book spot page is because I knew I was going to use this for 2025 as well, and I figured that this and this would sustain me for 2 years, but it did not, so I will have to create new ones. My 2024 spread, I wanted to be green and brown and feature a lot of leaves and greenery, so that's kind of the vibe I was going for. I'm not a huge fan of this title page. It was like very simple, and I kind of relied heavily on the stickers that I wanted to use, but I feel like it comes together somewhat nicely. Going into this page, I haven't completed it yet because at the time of filming this, it's still middle of December. I was ambitious and I added 100 books into this spread, and my method of coloring was coloring in the number of books I read that month, and that's the different colors attributed to it. I don't like the way this is set up because you see the colors spread in, but there's like these straggler books like here and here that just make it look so off. So I'm not a fan of how this looks, and when I look at it, it doesn't really do anything for me in terms of statistics or like how I kind of visualized this when I first created it. I got inspiration for the spread from Katie is Reading. She does a much better, well-drawn like version of this, but this is my version, and then I just added stickers in so I didn't have to draw anything. That's that. Going into my next page, this one is also not completed yet for December, and I also really don't like how I set up the statistics page, so it'll definitely change for 2025, but these are my 2024 statistics. I broke it down from genre and ratings. Please ignore how unstraight these lines are and how narrow the romance row became. I don't know what happened when I was drawing this out, but I broke it down to ratings as well, like with 5 stars and all the 0.5s and 0.25s and stuff. But I don't like the spread that much, so I don't really feel motivated to update it. Next page is my 2024 Hall of Fame. I have not updated my November yet, so I'll add this in the very end of the year. For November, my top book of the month was Making of June Farrow by Adrian Young, but this is essentially the top books of the month. Then this is my mid-year recap. I did start this journal in July, so I didn't have anything for prior to July, and I didn't want to make separate spreads for it since it would have taken too long, so I just printed out mini versions of all the book covers that I read from January 1st to June 30th, and then I made a mid-year recap spread, which I think turned out very cute. I love this page just because it looks so nice with all the book covers. One of my favorite spreads from last year is my Funny Story and Happy Place spread. Funny Story obviously came out last year, so I read it, and then Happy Place I did a reread. I just did a little bit of a journaling entry on this page. I love how this turned out. I printed out pictures that represented like different scenes in the book, added a little stickers. I think the colors just look so cohesive together, and I love how this page has turned out. Then going into my monthly pages, I have my July page and their monthly statistics. Nothing really exciting on this page. And then I did a Throne of Glass spread. I have a little journal entry of like my thoughts of the book. I printed out 2 character pictures, and then I did a kind of vintagey like theme, I guess. Vintagey magical theme. I feel like the newspaper washi tape is very fitting for this. I put my Throne of Glass rankings for each of the books here. I added in some stickers that I felt fit the theme. This one, the color stands out a lot on this page. I felt like the sticker was just so fitting for this series, so I had to include it. Next page is my July reading recap. I don't like how this page turned out. I just added my ratings and then quotes from each of the books that I read in July, but I'm not really a fan of the look of it. There's like so much white space and it just doesn't look very cohesive and nice. So next, this is my August page. Again, nothing really special, just my August title page and then monthly statistics on the left side. And then I did my August recap. I also don't really like the layout of this page. I was trying something new, but I did print out little 5-star stickers that I could easily color them in because I was drawing in stars previously and I did not like doing that, and I'm terrible at drawing like empty stars, so I did this as a solution so I can just color them in, and it's really made my experience better, and I like how it looks in my journal. Next, I did a spread for the Folk of the Air trilogy. I did a little journal review on the left side with my rankings of each of the books, and then I just did a spread with some quotes and some pictures and stickers that I felt like were fitting on the right hand side. I do like how this turned out. It looks very woodsy and folksy, which is kind of the vibe I was going for, so I think it turned out very cute. Next page, I did my September page and then September monthly statistics. As per usual, I went for a very fall theme, as you can see. This was the first wrap-up page that I actually really like how it turned out. I added in this construction paper on this side that kind of encapsulated a very fall theme. Added in my photos as per usual and my ratings. And then I did a little bit of a review / my thoughts on each of the books here. I like how the page is filled up. There's barely any white space. This spread would have fit an 8th book at the bottom, but I do like how this would turn out, and that's kind of the theme that you see continuing after for my wrap-ups. Then I did my October spread. This was the first spread that I did a calendar of when I read the books, and I do like how the calendar looks, but I don't really tandem read books that much, so that's kind of why I didn't continue it, but I did like doing it for this month specifically because I did read an audiobook. Then I just did statistics. This was the first month that I did statistics of the method that I read books. Here's my October wrap up. I did show myself making this in a reading vlog. I did a little ghost theme, ghost reading books, super cute. I really like how this one turned out. Next is my dreaded page. I do not like how this page turned out at all. I hate how I did the title. I tried to copy the font and the color scheme for the Ministry of Time. I hate how it turned out because of the titling, but I do like the vintage stickers and the feel. I printed out some pictures of London and like letters and stuff, so I like the vibe of it, but then not the title. Flipping over into my November page, I love how this page turned out in terms of the colors and the cohesiveness of it. Flipping over, we have the November wrap-up. I read 6 books in November. I forgot to print out Phantasma, so I don't have Phantasma here, but that's the missing book cover here. Flipping over to my December page, kind of went off the same theme as November, but I used a different set of stickers. I've only been doing full page spreads for books that I really enjoy or series that I really enjoy. I'm going to do a spread for The Wedding People, but I haven't done it yet, and then I'm going to do a spread for some other book I read this month, or I'll do it for Yours Truly or The Unmaking of June Pharaoh, since I didn't have a spread for Yours Truly, but I really wanted to. And then obviously, since it's still mid-December, I haven't done my December wrap up yet, but I did set up the page with a very similar theme to the December title page. That kind of wraps up the 2024 flip through. Now moving on to the 2025 journal spreads. Okay, to start with my 2025 journal setup, essentially I have these cutouts from a sticker sheet that I got off of Pinterest. They're so cute. They're like these little penguin images. They have nothing to do with reading or anything. I just thought they were so cute. It has a penguin theme. There's also stars and moons and planets and, like, for example, these are rainbows and things like that. Bows. So I got the sticker sheet off of Pinterest. I printed it out on regular printer paper, but you can also print it out on sticker sheet paper. That way you can easily have a sticker without having to glue it down yourself. So for the setup pages for the year, I'm going to be using this as my theme, and then I usually do different themes each month. I just have to figure out what colors I want to go for with a color scheme. I also have these beautiful washi tapes that I think kind of fits the theme well. They're like floral with blue and yellow and white accents. I think it'll go well with it. We'll see how it goes when I actually start making spreads and if I end up using these washi tapes or not, but those are an option. And then I just want to figure out like my color palette in terms of the markers that I want to use. I have a lot of colors to choose from, and I'm going to select a few just to fit this color palette, and then that's going to be my color palette for the 2025 pages. Decided on these 5 colors as my color palette to match my sticker sheet. I was gonna go with gray because the penguins are gray, but I feel like the gray that I have is way too cool tone. That's what I'm going with in terms of the color scheme. Now moving into creating my 2025 page, but what I have to figure out is what stickers I want to use. Super happy with how this turned out. I didn't mind the lettering, but I think when I swatched this pink, tell me this pink doesn't look different from this pink. This one looks super highlighter and bright, and I think the drop shadow just kind of ruined the look of this page. I think it makes it look too harsh. So I'm kind of sad about how that looks now, but this page is something's off about it, and I'm not a fan. I think it's the pink. I think the pink drop shadow just ruined the look, but I'm not trying to be perfectionist about it. I'm just trying to have fun, and I don't really look at this title page at all. Like, I don't really look at my 2024 page. It's not something I go back to fill in or anything, so it's fine. Anyway, going over to my next page. I do have something stenciled in already. My next page is going to be my wish list. I'm going to keep it super duper simple, and this is just to keep track for myself, and also if anyone asks me what books I want, because my partner's always doing that, and I just can't remember, like can't think of things off the top of my head of what books I want to own. So that's kind of the reason I want to include this. It's just gonna be very simple. For this page, I'm going to do a physical TBR and books bought tracker. This is just a way for me to track what's on my physical TBR in terms of books I've bought but haven't read yet, as well as the books I've bought in the upcoming year. So it's not going to be like physical TBR and books bought, but that's just how my title is laid out. What I'm going to do is just first write all of the books on my physical TBR, and then once I read them, I'm just going to check them off. And then after I've cataloged my physical TBR, I'm going to start tracking the books that I've bought in 2025. But it's a nice way for me to see what's on my physical TBR and then also keep track of what books I've bought in the upcoming year. This page, I'm going to do my series tracker, similar to how I did it for 2024. And then I'm going to also do the same Dutch door spread. And then here are the list of series that I will add to it. So I'm going to do this. the next page. This is going to be my 2025 TBR. I didn't do a 2024 TBR. Well, I did one, but I only kept track of it on my Notion. But I think it would be fun to have it physically. I'm going to print out each of the covers for the books that I want to read. This page is going to be new releases in 2025, and this page is going to be books that are already released that I want to read eventually. So I'm going to do the shell of this page, and then when I do my final flip through of my spreads, I'm going to make sure that those photos are actually in the journal. Moving on to the next page, I'm going to be doing my 2025 library. I did something very similar in 2024. Last year I did use a lot of stickers to decorate my shelves, but I think this year I'm going to try to draw in some plants and things, and I also created just a bigger window. This spread I did 100 books. I don't think I will get to 100 books this year either, so my goal for 2025 I think is going to be 90 books. I'm also going to color code this a bit differently than I did for 2024. In 2025, I plan to do the format that I read the book in, so physical, library, Kindle, or audiobook, and that's how I'm going to mark them. I'm going to put a little legend at the bottom. I am so mad that I messed up on the shelf. It was going so well. Like, this plant is kind of ugly, but the rest of it was going so well. And then I messed up on the shelf. I'm so mad. I've also decided to use my sticker sheets instead for the plants because I drew this one in and I don't like how it looks. I'm going to pick out some like plants and things to just put on my shelves instead because I'm too lazy to draw. What I think I want to do is, because I have these like little cutouts, this little moon, honestly, it's tiny as heck compared to my moon from last year, but I think I'm just going to do a little moon and a star. The next page I'm going to do is my, I don't really know what to call this, like my stats tracker, I guess. I'm going to do books read by, and then month on this page, and then genre on this page. I'm just going to create like a table and then color it in as time goes on. So it's going to be like a bar chart eventually. This is going to be the last page that I set up for the 2025 spreads. This page, I'm also not going to have to do much right now because it's going to be something I fill in throughout the year. But this is going to be my 2025 Hall of Fame. Essentially, I mapped out the 12 months in boxes, and I'm going to print out my favorite book of that month. But my intention is to make it kind of gold themed, so it's kind of like a Hall of Fame. And along with this journal that I bought, it came with these sticker sheets that are gold themed, and I think I'm going to use like these months as the little titles for each of the books, and I think that'll be really cute with the gold. Okay, I don't know how this happened because I've only used my printer like for color probably under 10 times since I've gotten it, but I think it's like out of red ink in the cartridge or something, so I printed this out and it came out completely blue and yellow, but that's a problem for another day.
Are you hurt?
wraps up this video. I hope you enjoyed the 2024 reading journal flip through as well as the 2025 reading journal setup. I had a lot of fun doing it, and although I'm not a big fan of all of the spreads and how they turned out, I'm trying not to be a perfectionist when it comes to my reading journals, so that's just the vibe I'm going with. If it's not perfect, it's fine. I started doing my reading journal mid-year last year because I saw a lot of people doing reading journals and it was something that enticed me. I used to be a big bullet journaler, and I stopped doing bullet journaling back in I think 2022 or 2021. So the idea of scrapbooking and putting together spreads for books that I enjoyed, or in general just having a journal dedicated to books read, seemed really interesting to me, so that's kind of why I picked it up last year, and I'm excited to continue on and keep doing it for upcoming years. Anyway, I'm super excited for the upcoming year of reading and all the spreads I get to make and all the pictures of the little book covers that I get to cut out and put in my journal. It's like one of my favorite things to do at the end of the month or the beginning of a new month. So I'm excited to continue it for 2025 and for more years to come. That pretty much wraps up this video. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.